Hello everybody, this is Gretchen Hidell and you are joining me for our Monday night date on Facebook Live. So whether you're watching this live tonight or on the recording that's existing or on my YouTube channel, welcome everybody who is joining me. And I'm going to be talking about this week in astrology, and this is the week of September 28th all the way until October 4th. I can't believe we're almost, it's almost done. October's almost done. So, or I'm sorry, September's almost done and the year is almost done. It's crazy, crazy time. So if you're joining me tonight, go ahead, like and share with your friends, and please post your astrological sign. I love hearing from you, and also where you're tuning in from. I love that we can see each other all across the country, and I think it's really, really fun and fabulous. So we have a lot to go over this week. We have a busy astrological week in store for us. And so luckily today we had a beautiful trine between Mars and Venus, and I posted about that on my astrology update page by Gretchen Hidell. And if you don't like that page yet, go ahead and like it, because it's jam-packed with information, and I post on that regularly every single day, sometimes a couple times a day. So so Mars formed a trine with Venus today, and that's love and love and love and love and magic and love, and Venus is our sensuality and Mars is our sexuality. So we might have been feeling this in the weekend coming into Monday here on September 28th, 2020. And so this is nice to feel a little, it's like the birds and the bees and and feel a little pep in our step. It's like springtime kind of came a little early or late, depending on how you look at it. And that's a wonderful thing, except for Venus was forming a quincunx with Saturn, and then tomorrow Mars is going to be square Saturn. So unfortunately, when we put Mars into the mix of Venus and Mars, when we put Saturn into the mix of Venus and Mars, like trying to kind of get it on, Venus and Mars are Saturn's like the old man, like saying, "What are you kids doing back there?" And so that's a little bit of a Debbie Downer. I wish we could just have plain old just Venus and Mars just doing their thing, astrologically speaking, and that would be really fun. That's a favorite of mine, and a lot of astrologers hail that as like the number one kind of transit for love and romance, is when Venus and Mars form a trine or a conjunction together, so that's always a good thing. Now, it will happen again when the planets are in Sagittarius. So when Venus is in Sagittarius and Mars is still in Aries, that will still kind of form a trine, a nice trine. So we have another shot coming, but it's rare. I feel like my giving you guys good news is kind of rare, because of the astrology of 2020 is just kind of rough. I mean, especially as we get in deeper into the fall, even more, it's been rough. And so I like highlighting when we have a good thing. So if anybody felt that love and romance vibe over the weekend, that's why. The only problem with it was Saturn was thrown into the middle of it, and Saturn is like Debbie Downer. Saturn just like doesn't want love and romance. Saturn's all about responsibility and work and all that stuff. So we might have had a little kind of, struggle with that, I guess. We might have wanted to have some love and romance, and then all of a sudden a deadline was due or some kind of a thing. So unfortunately there was that, involved with it. Now, the good news is when we talk about Debbie Downer Saturn, tomorrow on Tuesday, on September 29th, Saturn turns direct. Yay! So that's really good. And then we also have Pluto turning direct on October 4th. So we have Saturn turning direct and then Pluto turning direct. There's a lot to talk about in this broadcast, so I'm going to go through a lot of things. I just want to say hi to everybody, though. There's so many people that are saying hi. I'm not going to read all the names, but Chris and Jill, Jacqueline, Gail, Bristol, Vermont, Monica, Leo, Harold, Virgo, yay. Almir Taurus, welcome. Thank you for posting your picture, Almir. That's awesome. Iris, Aries. We're going to be talking a lot about Aries tonight, by the way, because we have a full moon coming. And so we want to talk about Aries as well. Hans, Sagittarius, yes, welcome. I love that everybody is joining in tonight. And so we have two planets, two big outer planets this week in Capricorn turning direct, which is, yay, that's great news. So Saturn's going to be the first one. Saturn's going to turn direct at 1:11 overnight a.m. Eastern time tonight, technically tomorrow morning, but it's tonight. And so yay, Saturn's going to turn direct, and then Pluto's going to turn direct. What does that mean? Well, these two have been retrograde for like 4 or 5 months now. They always go retrograde for almost half of the year. So when we're reviewing, reevaluating, Saturn is your life lesson. Saturn is your work. It's your literal work. It's your spiritual work. It's work. It's hard work. Did I say it's work? It's work. And so with Saturn being retrograde, we're reviewing like all of our life's work and our responsibility and organization. And these two are in the sign of Capricorn. The ruler of Capricorn is Saturn. So Saturn's been in its home sign for the last 2 years or so. It's going to continue until December, and then we're going to get, finally it'll go into Aquarius full time, starting for sure next year, but starting in December. And so it's finishing up in Capricorn. So we are in the final pop quiz of Saturn in Capricorn. We have that little couple last few months, but remember, Capricorn is our government. And so it's government in general, it's systems in general, it's banking, it's big institutions, and, it's like the way you do things, it's the way we sell real estate and the way we do banking, In fact, just to give you an example of how powerful Capricorn can be, and I'm talking about global energy, I'm not talking about individual, like your neighbor who's a Capricorn or your friend who's a Capricorn, I'm talking about this global vibe, because there's a difference between the individual and then a global vibe or a United States vibe. When Pluto first entered into Capricorn in 2007 was right when President Obama took office, but also when the right around that time was when the financial crash was happening, and he kind of stepped in the middle of that. But that's when all of that stuff was happening in 2007. That's when Pluto went in. Pluto is like death of an old way. So, the housing bubble at that time burst. That's basically what happened when Pluto went into Capricorn back then. So it's still kind of working us out. Pluto's going to stay in Capricorn until 2024. If you think about that, it's not this election, right? That's the next election, 2024. So that'll be an interesting time for sure. But let's not skip ahead too much. We still have to get through this fall. So when the planet that is retrograde, that's in your area of work, life's work, spiritual work, emotional work, all the work, and it starts going direct again, that means that all of this that we've had this last time of 5 months or so that it's been retrograde, we've been reviewing and re-reviewing. Hey, anybody out there reviewing how they work in the middle of a global pandemic? I mean, this particular Capricorn review, both Pluto and Saturn, has been extra. Okay, it's been extra because we've had to really literally be reviewing what we're doing. And it's, how's it working out for you? I actually like how I'm working now. I like working from home. I like doing Zoom sessions. I don't know if anybody wants to post how they're doing their work or if it's changed or whatever. And it's not just your profession. It's literally like your life's work, like what you're meant to do here on this planet. So it's pretty cool. Capricorn is an interesting, probably one of the most predictive planets in an astrological chart. So if you're just kind of like interested in astrology, learning about astrology or whatever, you follow those Capricorn cycles, because they are like dead on. They're one of the planets that I really look at in someone's charts. The first thing I look at what's Saturn doing, And of course, if you're in your Saturn return, if you're like 29, 30, 59 or 60 or 89 or 90, you're going to be feeling this even more now because you'll be in your Saturn return. So it's good times. It's very interesting. Marianne said, I'm loving Zoom. Yes, I'm loving Zoom. I think it's really fun. And it's cool that we can connect. I have to tell you, sometimes there's been like offers of classes and different things that people are offering. And I'm like, it's almost more interesting to me. Like, I'm almost more inclined to sign up for them versus going somewhere on a Saturday morning or some kind of thing. I don't know if anybody else resonates with that. I'm actually secretly, people don't know this about me and they're always shocked when they learn, I'm secretly an introvert. So I like kind of having this, I'm in Myers-Briggs, I'm an INFP/J. So, you know, being an I with introvert, that's the Myers-Briggs test. I don't know if anybody else knows their Myers-Briggs. Go ahead and post if you are an I or an E, introvert or extrovert. And so definitely it's one of those things that I like to do the Zoom stuff. I'm right on the cusp, by the way, you guys, of I and E, but it's one of those things that when you people will say, well, I'm both, or I'm an ambi, or I like to go out, or I like to stay in. The way to tell the difference is, if you haven't taken the test, the way to tell the difference is where do you gain your energy and where do you lose energy. So if you go out and you're a type of person that has to kind of recuperate a little bit from that going out, then you're probably not an E. You're probably more leaning towards an I. Like, yeah, I can go out. I'm an kind of an ambi technically, but where I gain energy is I go inward or inside. That's the I. Oh wow, there's a lot of INFPs here tonight. That's really cool. And we're only like 4% of the population or something. INFJ is the more rare. I think it's only 2% of the population, and INFPs I think are 4% or 6% of the population. So there's a lot of rare birds on here tonight. Monica, you're the same as me, INFP/J. Yeah. I have a friend of mine who's probably going to watch this broadcast who told me the difference between the J and the P, and that's kind of an interesting thing. Emily, ENTP, but you used to be an ESTP, TJ. Wow, well, you really changed, huh? And we can change, you know. I used to be more of a J, and I've definitely moved into the P, and apparently the P, from what my friend has told me, is more of my natural state. So not to get too far down the rabbit hole with Myers-Briggs, but if you guys ever want to look that up, it's Myers, MYERS, Briggs, BRIGGS, and you can take the test. It takes a little while. I think it's like 200 questions, but it's really, really accurate, and it tells you your personality type, which is pretty cool. But yes, a lot of people think I'm an extrovert, but I am definitely not. I'm an introvert. And so I'm a loudmouth introvert, I like to say. So the next big thing that's coming, I didn't actually talk about Mars, what it means when Mars is square Saturn, but I will do that now. So tomorrow Mars is also square Saturn. So Saturn's going direct, but then Mars is squaring Saturn. So Mars is still retrograde in Aries. We're going to talk a lot about Aries, okay? Mars is still retrograde in Aries, and I hate when Mars and Saturn come together, because it's literally like you're pressing the accelerator at the same time you're pressing the brakes. Guess who's who? Mars is the accelerator, Saturn's the brakes. And it's like, and it's kind of like you feel like you want to go fast, you want to rush, but then you're like stopped. And that's what it's like when they come together. So tomorrow might be bumpy. Tomorrow might be a little contentious or a little problematic or something on Tuesday. So earlier in the week, these two don't just like come together and then split apart. They'll be active all week. Mars square Saturn. This is a Mars square Saturn week. So we'll definitely be feeling it all week. And the key with this is, luckily Mars is retrograde, so we can't get anywhere fast anyway right now. Mars is not operating or functioning very well. And then Saturn's at a standstill. So when it goes, direct and then it goes retrograde, it has to stop. and then it has to start again. So we're in the stopping phase. They call it stationary retrograde, where it's this phase where the car stops to switch gears and then go forward. So all week, Saturn's not really moving much either, and then Mars is moving retrograde. So we're going to try to get kind of nowhere fast. And I say that with a smile on my face, but it is what it is. As long as you know, forewarned is forearmed. So as long as you know that we're not going anywhere fast, stop trying to push, stop trying to, hack your way through the problem, because it's something that you might want to just kind of lay off a little bit and give it some air, give it some room to breathe, give it some time, and that would be a wonderful thing. Now, for sure, we're moving into the harvest moon phase, okay, and that's Aries. Aries full moon is going to take place on Thursday, October 1st. So welcome to October. We're coming into October 2020. And so this is the harvest moon. Now, guess what? 2 full moons in October, so there is going to be a blue moon. So what happens when there's 2 moons in 1 month, it means that there is going to be a 2 full moons. So the second full moon that happens within 1 month is called a blue moon. You ever hear the phrase, once every blue moon? Well, that's why. So we're going to have a full moon on October 1st, and then we're going to have another full moon on October 31st on Halloween. So that's going to be fun that we have a Halloween full moon. I think that's always a good time. And so coming on October 1st is the harvest moon. So you guys were kind enough last week. I was trying to remember my favorite song by Neil Young, Harvest Moon. And you guys told me I couldn't remember Neil's name for some reason. I was having a brain freeze moment last week when I was talking. So I actually, every year when I write the Harvest Moon post for just behind the scenes, I actually listen to the Harvest Moon on YouTube. I listen to Neil's song, so just to inspire me. So on Thursday the 1st is going to be the new moon, full moon in Aries, and that's 5:05 p.m. Eastern Time. So earlier than that, if you're out on the West Coast, okay, 3 hours earlier, 5:05 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's going to be in Aries. And that particular day, there's not much going on. There's not really many other astrological things. Now, the ruler of Aries, Mars, like I said, is going to be retrograde, and it is squaring Saturn this week. So there's that involved with this full moon. But other than that, there's not much involved with this full moon. Now, you might see I'm getting excited about that because, you guys know, if you've been watching for a while, every single time I'm talking about these moons, it's like super moon, eclipse, crazy, hasn't happened for 500 years, blah, blah, blah. This particular full moon is going to be the most sort of boring, non-impactful full moon that we've had. So, we don't need everything at level 10, because level 10 usually means some kind of problems are happening, riots are breaking out, there's some kind of a horrible thing happening. So I can say that this particular full moon is going to be more like a normal full moon. It's like the difference between a tsunami and then like a slow springtime rain, okay? It's like, it's definitely, I'm like praying for boring these days, I'll just tell you. And the other interesting fact about this particular full moon is, even astronomy-wise, is this is a micro moon. Now, you keep hearing me talk about supermoon. It's a supermoon because it's right here. It's so close. And supermoons we feel a lot because it pulls us. Literally the gravitational pull is pulling us, and we're like made out of like 70% water. So like we're like feeling that supermoon feeling. But this is not a supermoon. This is a micro moon, which means it's furthest away from the Earth. So it's like, it's far, as far as the orbit goes, it's going to be a smaller looking full moon. So it's still going to be pretty and all that, but it'll just be further away. So that means the gravitational pull will not be as much either. And that's a good thing. We kind of need some quiet time. Don't y'all need quiet time? Jane said, I'll take boring. Iris, you're going to start your new job on Wednesday. Yay, that's awesome. Han said, yes, low key and chill. And Julia said, yay, no drama. Exactly. That's totally the thing. And so we want this Aries moon to just be a little bit more relaxed. Aries in itself is not a relaxed sign. I'm an Aries, I hate to admit, but we tend to be angry. And so when we talk about that Mars retrograde squaring Saturn, talking about Aries, Aries can be angry a little bit. So we want to watch our anger around this full moon. Remember, full moons are a peak cycle, an ending, a culmination. And I keep referring like this because this is the peak, 5:05 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday. So as you are walking toward the peak, so like, it starts kind of Tuesday and Wednesday. If Thursday's the peak, then we start climbing down the mountain and it starts to release, okay? So it gets stronger, you know, as we head towards that. So if you are an Aries, and it's going to be 9 degrees Aries. So if you are a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, you're going to feel this full moon. And remember, full moons are when the sun and the moon oppose each other. That's why the full moon is so big and bright and beautiful, because it's opposing the sun, getting the full impact of the sun's light. So the sun is in Aries, Libra, 9 degrees Libra, and then the moon is going to be 9 degrees Aries. So remember the balance between Libra and Aries. Aries is the self, Libra is partnership, dating, relationships, where you're melding with another. And then the sun is, or the moon, this particular moon is all about autonomy, being more focused on internal, like yourself, you know. And so these, you know, that's why there's always tension during the full moon, because it's actually an opposition. And so when I say it's the peak, that's the peak of the opposition. And so the sun and the moon are quite powerful. Now, when I talk about Aries, there's a couple of different wonderful stones that you can use for Aries. Now, I decided to wear my diamonds tonight, okay? Because Aries is diamonds. It's rough, you know? I mean, we're tough cookies, okay? So... us Aries. So I'm wearing my diamonds for inspiration. And this particular diamond, just I'm going to give a shout out to one of my viewers, because I think it's a flower and it's so beautiful. It has like 20 something diamonds in it that's making it, it's hard to tell. The camera's not allowing me to pick it up. But Argento Jewelers, I actually won this diamond ring on Talk About Manifestation. I was trying to win Argento Jewelry, and they have a, just to let you know, if you go on Facebook, they have a page, Argento Jewelry. They have a contest right now. I think it's for sapphire, to win a sapphire ring, but I was trying to win one of their pieces of jewelry, because you guys know I loved my jewelry. And I went on, and it was at Christmas time, and I saw this, and I just knew, I was like, I'm gonna win that. And I just felt it through and through my body. And I wanted, it's funny, on my vision board I was trying to manifest an engagement ring. Just being honest with you, I was trying to manifest an engagement ring. Instead, I won the ring. I'm turning red as I say that, but I won it instead of getting engaged, but I won the ring. And it was beautiful, and it was so cool, because it was Christmas Eve, and I got a notification on my Facebook, and it said Argento Jewelry tagged you in a post, and I went, and I had won the ring, and it was my Christmas present to myself. So if you guys want to try to win some jewelry from Argento Jewelry, they have a contest going on right now, and I think you guys would enjoy it. So anyway, so so first of all, this is the gemstone of April, and April is Aries. Exactly, Jane said, "Oh, engagement ring from Spirit." That's exactly right. I got my engagement ring from the universe. And so basically, it's one of those things where, you know, diamond is the hardest, right? It's the hardest stone, and we're tough cookies. Aries are tough cookies. Aries are scrappy, and Aries can be survivors, and Aries kind of have to get through a lot of stuff in their lives. It's not the easiest life path being an Aries. Aries is the first of the zodiac, so it's hard to slog your way through, you know, in that way. It's a tough thing. So basically, it's one of those things with Aries. You want to we have to remember, we don't have to fight all the time. Libra's Aries counterbalance. Aries teaches Libra, like, hey, why don't you stand up for yourself every once in a while? Hey, why don't you, like, you know, do what you need to do? That can, Aries likes to fight, where Libra doesn't want to fight at all. Libra wants balance, wants everything to be cool. And so these two signs can really teach each other. Sometimes Libra has to stand up for itself, and sometimes Aries has to chill the F out. Aries needs to chill a little bit. We don't have to get into every single fight. We don't have to make every single thing our problem or what we need to do, okay? And I'm looking for the card of Aries. So it's just ironic. Look at my cards are so beat up. I use them so much. This is the card of Mars, which is the number 9, and it's going to be 9 degrees Aries. So we got Mars as the ruler of Aries. So we got a lot of Aries energy. Now, you can imagine also some red stones are good, like a red jasper or a red carnelian. If you feel, let's say you feel like you need a little bit more Aries energy, a little bit more of the fight, a little bit more chutzpah, if you will, then you want to get your red on. Okay, so think ruby, think garnet's more of Aquarius, but you can think garnet. Anything that's like a red stone, this carnelian, jasper, red jasper, anything that's a red stone will kind of fire you up if you need to have a little bit more fire in your life. Now, I also included these earrings, which are from Kathy LeClaire. I think I'll tag these two jewelers. I ordered these online, and this is aquamarine. I don't know if you guys can see aquamarine. It's a light blue color. Okay, and she had made these. She's a local jeweler here in Vermont, but she also ships. And this is for the March Aries babies. Aquamarine, also Pisces is. So let's say you need to chill, and you don't want to fire up all the red, okay, and you want to kind of chill back, and you want to like not be so fired up. Well, you would cool it with water, right? So aquamarine is a great stone to kind of chill out some of that too fiery energy. That's a great way to kind of counteract it or counterbalance it. So those are some stone ideas for you guys for this week with the harvest moon, and it's a wonderful thing. So yeah, we got a lot of people commenting. I'm a quiet Aries. How can I temper my Aries sun? Well, there's not much we can do. All we can do is really let those Aries figure those things out. I mean, some of the most harshest people in Hollywood I can think of, Betty Davis and Joan Crawford, are all Aries women, you know, and their feud with each other was, you know, I mean, they even did a little series on that. I don't know what channel it was on, but it was kind of a fun thing. So anyway, so Aries can be a lot of fighting energy, but we don't have to go down that route, because we can also harness the energy of Libra. Now, Aries is the head. Mars is retrograde right now, which is inflammatory. Okay, it's inflammation in the body. Headaches, sometimes Aries is associated with all things with the head. It can be strokes, aneurysms, dementia, Alzheimer's, tinnitus, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, with the ear ringing, TMJ, eyesight stuff, all kinds of things with head stuff is Aries, and Aries is inflammation. Mars is inflammation of the body, high blood pressure, and all that kind of stuff. So it is what it is. So we just want to watch that. Now, also the folks that will feel this, not just the fire signs, are the cardinal signs. So I keep saying this every week. All the cardinal signs are really getting worked out right now. So it's Aries and Libra, and then it's Cancer and Capricorn. And so all the cardinal signs. So if you are one of those signs or another fire sign, you will feel this full moon a little bit more strongly than other people. So that's basically what the deal is. So we're feeling it. We're in the middle. Now, we switch on Friday. Venus is going to be switching signs too. Venus is going to switch into Virgo. Venus has been in Leo, also a fire sign. Okay, so we've been talking a lot about fire signs. And so That's basically been a thing. Venus has been in Leo all this time. Venus and Leo, let's talk about love. Let's talk about Venus, okay? We keep talking about Venus and Mars right? I talked about that for today. Now we're talking about Venus again. We talked about Mars. Mars is sexuality, by the way. And people are kind of noticing. I've been getting privately contacted about libido issues. I've been getting privately contacted about STDs. I've been getting privately contacted about stuff like that. So Mars is definitely sexuality. So that's kind of a thing that might be a theme. But now we switch into sensuality. With Libra, with Venus, it's sensuality. Venus rules Libra and Taurus. So basically, Venus is going to be switching now into Virgo. Virgo the Virgin, okay? That's the ancient sort of symbol for Virgo. It's supposed to symbolize purity and cleanliness and all that. I will tell you, there are three, is it three? I would say 3 or 4 Venuses that struggle. I will just say that, in love. And you have to know what this is in your astrological chart. So it's good to know those things. Astro.com has a great free chart that you can sort of look at and see, where is my Venus? What sign is it in? So if you know what sign your Venus is in, and this is one of the signs that Venus struggles in, okay? Because Virgo is all about like perfection and discernment, which is great, okay? We need some discernment in our love lives, okay? That's great. But it's not sexy. It's not super like, it's discerning. Like, I'm going to sort of look at you now and see like, well, God, they chew with their mouth open, or, they leave their socks on the floor, and, there's a little bit of like that Virgo tendency in this Venus that's coming up. And that's going to start on Friday around 5 p.m. So, it's one of those things that there's sort of like certain signs that have commitment issues. And this is one of them. And they have different reasons. So I'll just share which Venuses kind of have some issues. So Venus and Virgo is one of them. Venus in Sagittarius, because a lot of Sagittariuses don't like to settle down, especially early in life. Venus in Gemini, too many options. And Venus in Aquarius, standoffish. It's a sign of being aloof. It's a sign of friendship. It's a sign of being standoffish a little bit. I'm sorry, I have Venus in Aquarius, so... It's a thing. And so these 4 signs kind of have trouble sometimes settling down, okay? And so when we're getting back to Venus and Virgo, which is what we're about to go through, and that's going to be active for until the end of the month on October 27th. So about 1 month. Venus is in each sign around 1 month, unless if it's retrograde. Venus and Virgo tends to be picky. Like if there's another picky thing or another option, or there could be somebody better, there could be, another thing. Venus in Virgo has a hard time settling down and just like choosing that one. And nobody's perfect. Everybody kind of has problems, issues. I always say if you're over the age of 20, you have some baggage. So, how do we get to that purity and they're just wonderful and all? Well, we can't, because Venus in Virgo can see all the flaws and see all the problems. So that's a trap that some of I see this a lot in my private astrological sessions, where Venus and Virgos tend to have a little trouble finding that right partner for them. They just look a little, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, you got to give the person a break a little bit. Sometimes it's warranted, okay? I'm not going to say it's totally imaginary. Sometimes it's warranted, but sometimes it's like Venus and Virgo has got to calm down and like not take every little thing so picky, so picky. Now, Venus in Virgo is very discerning. So if you are a person that, let's say, doesn't matter what your Venus is in, let's say you have a problem in your love life and you can't find that right partner, and you kind of date the fixer-uppers, or I hate to say the losers, or the people that just, they're not the right match for you. Venus in Virgo will give you the superpower of being more discerning, and that's the good thing about Venus in Virgo. So I actually like Venus in Virgo cycles. I just think it can help you to have an additional lens of like, is this person right? Is this person not right? Like, and being able to have more discernment with who you select. Okay. And that's the superpower. That's the good thing of Venus in Virgo. It's just that we can get too bogged down with picking apart our partners during this time, and they can pick us apart too, by the way. It's not just a one-way street. And it's not fun. I mean, you know, like if someone's watching you, like, you know, let's say you did something 1,000 times and nobody's watching, and you could just lickety split, you can do it like that. But as soon as someone's standing there like watching well, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Well, that's like, it's too much pressure. That's what it's like in our love lives when Venus is in Virgo sometimes. So we want to make sure that we also give our honey, our partner, a break. But if you are single and looking, this is good, because then you can kind of have more of a discerning eye, not hyper focusing on all the flaws and the problems and the things, but just having an extra lens going, does this person really like have the same life goals as me? And, you know, do they have the same hopes, dreams, aspirations, and all those types of things? By the way, being a dating and relationship coach myself, that is, I always tell people that is one of the number one things that you are looking for in a partner. Do you have the same life goals? Okay, if you don't have the same life goals, it kind of doesn't matter what flavor ice cream you like. You know what I mean? Like, we tend to, sometimes when we're dating people, we tend to go, well, he likes the same movie that I like, and she likes, you know, this, and I like this, you know, and we look at those little things, and that means so much to us. Oh, you know, it's so cute. She ordered chocolate, and I ordered chocolate at the same time. Oh my gosh. You know, okay, that's cute, but the thing is, if you don't have the same life goal, like let's say your life goal, like the one person is to have babies and a white picket fence and a family, and the other person's life goal is to be like no kids, travel around the world, whatever. If you don't have the same life goals, that is not going to work. It doesn't matter what flavor ice cream you share in common or the books you just read last month or whatever. You have to have the same life goals. Studies have shown this, okay? And it sounds like common sense, but you would be shocked by how many people think, well, I'll just get into it and I'll change their life goal because once they see my plan, it's going to be better. And of course, we don't think sometimes consciously that way, but I see a lot of people trying to change each other when they get into relationships. Because they think, oh, well, I'll get that person on board with me, and it oftentimes does not work. Just saying. And then people are unhappy and questioning themselves and all kinds of stuff. So it is something that we want to kind of keep in mind if we want to have the same life goals. That's an important thing in dating and relationship coaching. A couple people are dating some boyfriends with Venus and Virgo. Yeah, that's the thing. So you're on the receiving end of that. And so they tend to take a very long time to commit. They take a very long time to settle down. It takes a very long time to get a ring. Talking about ring magic. We got to do some ring magic tonight, people, if we want to get some rings going. And so basically, gentlemen too, by the way, I think everybody deserves jewelry. How about that? Equal opportunity jewelry for all. And so basically it's one of those things, if you want one of these, it is what it is. This is my engagement ring from the universe. You want to be able to settle down. Venus in Virgo tends to take longer to settle down, just saying. And all those lines, all those signs that I listed, Venus signs that I listed, they do tend to take longer to settle down. I didn't talk about moving in. I talked about settling down with this. This takes longer. I'll just tell you. I've never heard of one like just jumping right in and whatever. They'll move in. They'll get all the benefits. They'll do all that. But where's the ring? You know, if that's really what you want. And hey, maybe you don't want that. So that's okay too. Okay, so moving on, we have Pluto turning direct, and there's a whole thing with Pluto direct. And then I will be done, and I'm going to be pulling a collective card for the week. and answering some questions. So if you guys want to start queuing up a few questions, I don't have all night, but I'll answer a few. So Pluto direct. Okay, so there's a cool mythology behind Pluto turning direct. So Pluto is the lord of the underworld. Remember, that's Hades. So every single time he's like the lord of the underworld, right? He's death and destruction. And this is the mythology of Pluto. Okay, so every single time he comes up from the underworld, which is fall, and he walks the planet, everything dies, right? And we prepare, winter is coming. You know, I'm a big Game of Thrones fan. Winter is coming, you know, and the leaves die and everything shrivels up and ice comes, and it's so dramatic, you know. And that's the mythology of when Pluto turns direct. It means it's that start of that process of the death, okay? Now, when Pluto goes retrograde, meaning he goes back underground, he's the lord of the underworld, that's when springtime is here and everything starts to bloom and liven up again. And that's the mythology between the retrograde and the direct, okay, with Pluto. Now, Pluto literally does symbolize death, just so that you know. It symbolizes transformation. It's like the death card in tarot. Technically, for some reason, it should be the death card, but it's actually associated with judgment card. I don't know why. But because Pluto tends to be pretty harsh with judgment. But Pluto basically being direct means that we are still continuing this transformation that we're in. It's Phoenix rising, okay? This is associated, it's like associated with butterflies, you know? And so basically it's one of those things that Pluto being direct is going to help us with our transformative. What we were supposed to be doing in the last 4 or 5 months since springtime is evaluating. Every summer, you know, it's retrograde. So we're evaluating what we need to release, what we need to let go of, and all of that stuff. By the way, getting back to that full moon cycle, we're releasing on the full moon as well. So we're releasing when Pluto goes direct, we're releasing on the full moon, releasing what it is we don't want. If it's something that's toxic, if it's something that's you know, no longer working for you, like a substance or a relationship or some kind of a thing, that's the time to get rid of or to release those things. Full moons are those cycles as well, is a cycle of release, because we're peaking, okay? The height of that lunar cycle is peaking, and then we're kind of letting that go. And that's been happening since the new moon in Aries back in the springtime also. So it's kind of like we have two of those mirror image type things coming at it in different angles. So that means it's extra strong. The releasing part is extra strong. So this is the time to burn or destroy your new moon manifestation list, or old love letters from exes, or old things that you just want to burn, destroy, get rid of. Do recycling, take a donation to Goodwill, all of that type of stuff. So that is something that we want to release with joy and happiness and love. You know, we want to do some Marie Kondo. And Juliet said, is Pluto in Virgo? Pluto is in Capricorn. It has been in Capricorn since 2007. It's going to continue in Capricorn until 2024. So we are in the Pluto in Capricorn. It's at the end stage of Capricorn, but it's still Capricorn. And Saturn's in Capricorn, and Jupiter's in Capricorn, and Athena Pallas is in Capricorn. So we have 4 planets. These 4 have been working us out all year, my dear, and that's what I've been talking about with COVID, with the crumbling of government and the crumbling of, you know, all different kinds of things that have been going on, the death, okay? Because Pluto's been aspected and highlighted by Saturn and Jupiter. So think of what's dying. What is dying? We have a lot of things dying right now. We're in a Pluto cycle right now, so a lot of things are getting, you know, not good. And some of it needs to die. Some of it needs to go away, or so that we can, it's burning things to the ground so that we can rebuild up again. But that's the painful part of Pluto. Pluto can be quite painful. Okay, so let's see here. We had a lot of questions. All right, Catherine, should you stay with your new boyfriend? even though COVID has turned him into a neglectful workaholic. All right. All right, Catherine, we're going to pull a card for you. What does she need to know about your boyfriend? I can't tell you really what to do, Catherine, especially on a live broadcast like this. I'm being told. And then I'm going to also pull a collective card for everybody so that we all know what to do on this full moon, okay? All right, Catherine, what does she need to know about her boyfriend? What sign is he, Catherine? Doesn't feel like a bad person at all. He's just in a hermit phase right now. He's kind of like doing his thing. Oh my God, look at him. He's like so doing his thing. Ah! You got some that fell, so. You know, first of all, Virgo. Guess who's the hermit in tarot card? Virgo. This is my version of hermit. Hermit and alone. Hermit and alone, okay? But there is love here. And you're getting the card try again and you will succeed. So it's not a bad card. It's more about hermit is just like, I just feel like he feels like he is losing, your boyfriend feels like he is losing himself for some reason, like, and this is the way he is defining himself. It's not about you, it's about him. Not that you should put up with bad behavior. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying to give you a context or an idea of what the thing is, because I'm sure you feel neglected. That's a lot of like alone time. But I feel like he's trying to define himself with his work, and it's like his ego was kind of attached to, you know, like what I do. Like I feel like he does do a lot of like public stuff or something. Like I feel like usually he's out a lot more or some kind of a thing. He might even be involved with like service organizations or volunteering or doing some stuff, but I feel like he's literally like just feeling like he's just very stifled right now. So he's trying to define himself. You know, it's hard because you can't say to somebody, hey, don't do that, come over here with me. So that's a tricky situation, and I would have to take more time to sink into that with you. But just so that you know, there is love here, and I am getting that if you really, you know, give him lots of love and support and encouragement, I actually think he will come out of the bedroom and want to hang out with you and talk to you and all of that. But he's just like real like this. I don't feel like he's bad person though, if that makes sense, Catherine. So I hope that helps. Okay. Let's see. Anybody else have any questions? Oh, Julie, how can I be successful on Wednesday? All right, I'm going to pull you a card, Julie. Ah, wow, the cards got lively when I dipped into, woo, they're trying to like jump out. All right, what does Julie need to know about Wednesday? How can she be? You're in your feelings about this, Julie, like big time, and you're a little bit, you don't know all of the facts just yet. So I don't know if you're going to get like I don't know if this is an interview or what, but like I feel like you might like you don't have like a list of whatever it is you're supposed to be doing on Wednesday, but you're going to be getting it, and I feel like you'll tune back into it. I definitely feel like you're gonna be able to get it. Peace of mind, girl. Peace of mind. Have peace of mind, okay? But you're getting the moon. I'm using 2 decks here tonight. These are actually my reading cards that I use, which I don't usually use on live broadcasts, but you're getting the moon. Think about the full moon, right? But she also doesn't know all the facts here. She's trying to guide her boat by this very small sliver of light, okay? And there, you could have a lot of feelings or emotions about this thing with Wednesday. But have peace of mind. Don't, you know, it's easy for me to say, don't do this, do this, you know, but these feelings and this emotion, there's a lot of feelings and emotion. Like she gets very blue as feelings and emotions. She gets very bogged down by that. So you just want to make sure that you stay in the positive. And even if you don't know everything, it doesn't matter. I mean, like you'll learn. You're gonna learn. You'll get it. And so I hope that helps, Julie. I hope that makes sense. And I'll answer Juliet's question. How is her son doing at school? Okay, and so I'll answer that question. And then I want to pull a collective card for everybody so that you guys know what to do this week. It's a good fun thing. Okay, so Juliet, how is I don't know if I want to do this on live broadcast, but I will. We get the card of sexuality, passion, passion, passion. So there's stuff going on with that, Juliet. I won't get too much more into that because I know he's college age person. But there's something going on with that. Okay, so I'll leave it at that. It's live broadcast. What else can I do? So I hope that that helps everybody tonight. I want to pull because we have a big week, and with this Libra, Aries, energy, Venus, Mars energy, Pluto, death energy. There's like a lot of layers, right? And we have the endings because things have to clear away in order for things to begin that's new. So this is the time to burn your new moon manifestation list. Get rid of something, purge something. Rake your leaves in the yard from Pluto coming up and making all the trees drop their leaves. And so it's almost like an epic movie, isn't it? It's kind of fun. Juliet said, I'll send condoms. That's hilarious. And so, yeah, Pluto's sexuality, Mars's sexuality. It's a lot of libido kind of stuff we're talking about. And this is kind of fun stuff. So, So what do we need to know about this full moon coming? What's the most helpful thing that all of us need to know as far as collective energy to give us guidance in these times that we're in right now? What's the thing we need to keep in mind? What's the most important thing? Oh, this happens all the time. I always do this. I'll describe the energy, and then the cards mirror that because that's the energy of what's going on in the universe and all that. Self-reliance. So you think about the energy of this full moon in Aries. I told you, Aries is the self. Autonomy, how you feel about things, okay? You do you, boo. I do me, boo. And it's about being Aries, and it's about relying on the self. Yeah, Aries can be selfish. We can be totally selfish people. I mean, I'll just say that. Aries tends to be a selfish sign, but sometimes we need a little more selfishness right now because a lot of us are caring for children or wives or husbands or elderly parents or cousins and neighbors, and a lot of us are caring for a lot of people. A lot of folks out there really are overextended right now. And sometimes in life, it's okay to be a little selfish. It's okay to think more about what about me? And let's touch in. What do I need to know about me? And how do I feel about this thing? Or this whatever thing it is that we're doing. It's okay to be a little bit selfish sometimes. We have to remember, I was just talking to a friend the other night, and I was saying our sacred contract, the very first contract we have is with our physical body when our soul comes into this life and into this earthly plane in the 3D, okay? Our first contract, our sacred contract, is our body, and it's our vessel that we're in, and it's how much are we concentrating on that, because it's like the analogy that they have to remind parents to give themselves the oxygen in a plane before they give it to the child, because if the parent passes out, then nothing's going to happen. We can't help the child. And so it's the same thing with the sacred contract. The sacred contract is the contract with self. And that's the first contract that we have. And somewhere along the line, we lose that, in life, because we have these responsibilities and we have these people and friends and family and spouses and all that start to pull on us and pull our focus away from our sacred contract. But the sacred contract is this: it's our vessel, it's ourselves, it's our body, and this thing, this body that we have, only temporarily houses the soul for whatever our lifetime is going to end up being. And so our sacred contract is to keep this functioning as well as possible. So it's a reminder to think, okay, you know, sometimes it's okay to be a little selfish, a little self-centered, a little self-focused, because without this, nothing's happening. Nobody's getting taken care of. None of the things are happening. The groceries are not getting bought, and the money is not coming in the door, and things are not happening. And we can't have good and successful relationships with others if we don't have this. So everything starts with the self. It's the first house in the astrological chart is the house of Aries. It's number 1. It's the first house, and it's the first sign. So on March 22nd every year, that's when we go into roughly the 22nd, sometimes 21st. We go into the spring equinox, and that's where life starts. And that's the very beginning little shoots that come out of the ground. That's Aries energy. And so when we start to the self, we are entering into our sacred contract, and that is, nobody can F with that. Nobody has the right to do that. You have to remember, come into self. And this full moon is all about that. That's the peak of this self focused and self-oriented energy. Now we might have a little pull again with that Libra, someone trying to pull us out of our self energy, but no, this is about the self. So it's about having those good boundaries and all that fun stuff. So I hope that helps, everyone. I appreciate you all, and if you would like to have a personalized astrological session with me, Gretchen Hidell, go to my website for more information under the tab that says Intuitive Astrology Readings if you want to have a reading with me. Send me a direct message or send me a text message to schedule. I am trying to get back to everybody. And be well, be happy, be well, and do that wonderful manifestation stuff on the full moon, releasing what you no longer want in your life. Okay, everyone, have a good night. Namaste. Take care.